Amber knows us.
Do you want me to apologize to anybody? You don't have it?
No, we don't have a virtual member anymore.
No,
but
we don't.
Amber can see it all in the back.
Oh, can she? That's
Yeah.
fine, then we're good to go.
And she can let me know if anyone pops in, but
Okay.
it's still connecting, it says.
Okay, that's fine, we'll be good. It's not a big deal. Welcome, everybody. Are you all surviving the heat?
Yo. Yeah, we're here, trying to.
We are here. And
So-
some of us, I know that at the, well, I'll just wait for that, I guess. But anyway, I know Anita was not coming. She did notify me that she was not going to be here today. So we're good to go. And Jean Sill, I haven't heard from, but she often will come right over from the library. So we'll see what happens. But we have a quorum, so we're good to go.
Yes.
Okay. So, we called the meeting to order at 3 p.m. on time. And we have one absent member, Anita. And we have a quorum. And we have staff present. Thank you, ladies, for coming. Here comes Jean. I bet you money.
Yes. You would have won, big time.
I would have won, big
Yes,
time.
big
I said
time.
you would be here. Yes, no. Anita's not here. So I shifted my body down one set.
Yes.
So, Jean's here instead. All right. And you have a packet. Did the packet get there? She has a packet. Okay, great. Thank you. Welcome, Jean. So, okay, and I was on staff present, we have Liz and Amy present. And I always do this. We have a new member today. I'd like to welcome Mary. Welcome. And I apologize, I have not gotten a manual to her yet, but I am working on it. And some of the things we're in limbo, like we need a secretary. And I hope we're going to solve that today so that I can get the list out. The list has been updated, all except for that. But I don't know what to put in there, in that slot. So, anyway. But welcome to your first meeting.
Yes. Thank you. For sure.
Yes, for sure is right. So, okay. Other announcements? Does anyone have any announcements?
Only the two things. The little food pantry in front of the Baptist church is always looking for non-perishables. Things go in and out very quickly.
Yep.
And the last Saturday in this month is the Memory Cafe at the Baptist church. It's
Last Saturday, which is, do you happen to know the date by any chance?
The-
I can look, I've got my appointment book here.
22nd, 28th,
July.
I think it is.
Last Saturday is the 27th.
Oh, 27th, okay.
So, 27th is the Memory Cafe, and I noticed that was in the broadcaster recently again. That's really nice. Thank you for putting that in.
But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's still the same thing, because that was last month. They had the butterflies, so I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
I don't either.
I
It'll
got
be all
got the
right.
blurb
Sure.
from Ann Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway. No, I was going to make an announcement, too, about the fact that, oops, I lost my train of thought now. This is bad. It's the heat. I'm blaming it on the heat.
That sounds good. Okay,
Does
understandable.
anyone have an announcement, another announcement?
You'll think of it before the meeting's over.
I will, but I really, because I wanted to welcome Mary. So first, and speak up, ask questions.
I will.
And, yes, so don't ever hesitate, or call, talk to a board member. Yeah, everyone's very open and very pleasant to deal with.
Yes,
So,
we are.
yes, we're a great board. So I've heard so many people comment on that, by the way. But I wanted to talk about the wonderful topping off ceremony.
Oh,
that
that
we
was
had.
wonderful.
That was fabulous.
Wasn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
I wanted to
Of course,
just.
as Liz said, it was a bit hot, but, you know.
Well, that's what I was going to go back to, because there's several of us, I was looking at Mary, because she was sitting there, we were burning. Yep, I had my.
And I had so much
so my-
sun
I-
lotion
yes.
on her.
Yes,
You did
yeah,
also.
it was warm that day. But
such
I think it was a beautiful
gorgeous.
day. At least there was a breeze that day, too.
Yes.
Yes.
Not like this air that's very
No,
heavy.
no, no.
Yeah, but there is a little breeze if you're walking any distance. I don't mean going for a walk. I mean, like, from this end of the parking lot to the
No going for a walk.
To your car.
But that was quite a learning experience for me.
It was
was
nice.
You know,
fascinating.
I really felt, at one point, I remember saying to somebody, whoever was sitting near me, I said, oh, look at that, there's a guy way up there on that beam, just sitting there. And it never occurred to me, he was up there waiting for the beam to come up to him, you know?
He was just hanging out.
He was, and I'm looking at him thinking, what's he doing up here, just sitting there?
Very relaxed.
He was, he looked very much at home up here. Yeah, I know.
I know.
But it was really a great event. Thank you, Liz, for
Yes,
all the
yes.
work you worked. You worked hard with them, the builders, I think.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
pull it up.
Commodore did a lot of the work for us.
Oh, and their barbecue was wonderful.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The workers enjoyed that.
Yes, they did also, yes, which was
And
nice.
you know, I want to thank the library, or extend the thanks to Sam, because I don't know who the elder person was. One of our
there he
seniors, but
was.
she was telling me, there he is, up
Yep,
in the.
there he is,
Yes.
hanging out.
I loved that.
Yeah,
I was
just-
so impressed with that.
I know. like
Way
it's-
up there in the sun, sitting there.
Yeah, exactly, enjoying the view. Oof.
But anyway, it was really a great day. And to get back to the library, one of our senior citizens, I went to breakfast the following morning. And one of our seniors was at breakfast, and we were talking about the event, and she said, I have to tell you how wonderful the library was. I couldn't stand the heat,
Oh.
and I didn't want to leave.
Oh.
So I went in and I asked if I could just sit in a chair in there for a little while. And they put me right in front of a window, and I watched the whole thing from the side of the library. She said, it was so wonderful.
She scored big time.
She did. She said she was so impressed. She was so grateful.
He
and
did. She
appreciated
scored
that. So
big
carry
time.
that back. To,
I will tell
yes.
Sam.
Oh, she was just so taken
Well,
by
you had
that.
a good view right there.
Yeah.
Yes, she did, and she could hear some of the conversation.
For sure,
you
with
know.
the microphone and
Yeah,
such.
yeah. So yeah. So
she
that was
scored.
what I almost forgot.
That's good. There you go.
I had to share that little tidbit of information. Yes. Okay. We have no one here from the Friends, and my understanding is that the Friends are not meeting for the entire summer.
Oh.
That's the latest thing I heard. And so, I don't know exactly. They did have their Follies, the first of this series of Follies presentations. There's another one in September. And I did hear today they had 80 people.
Nice.
Wow, that's
Yes,
great.
so it was a
That's
very
really
good
good,
turnout for them
considering-
at
did you
$10
go?
a head. I did not go. I went to all of the Follies when they were in live, in person. But I understand that Barbara McCrae was there
Oh,
yesterday,
that's great.
which is really neat, and Barbara Cam.
Oh.
And Barbara Cam was the star of the Follies. You have to have seen the Follies back in the day when they were doing them. They were wonderful shows. Really, a lot of talented people participated and everything, but,
What a sweetheart.
and it was a good turnout yesterday. It was a good day. That's what the feedback I've heard.
Awesome. That's great, especially.
happy for them.
It was a holiday weekend. so-
Right.
So
But
I
they
was
had-
hoping it would be a
They
good
had a
turnout.
good turnout.
Good,
So-
good.
So that's kind of an announcement, too. Are there any other announcements from any other board members? Anything going on that we need to share? Things are quieting down a little, I think. Not a lot, but maybe a little. Okay. If there are no further announcements, we'll move on to the minutes. And I'm taking notes, kind of. I will be responsible for getting the minutes done, since we don't have anybody doing that right now. Lorelei, I have got to go pick up her manual. She and I have chatted, and she thanked me. I just want the board members to know that I also encouraged her to go and make sure she signed the beam herself, because she deserved to sign it.
Oh, my
She
gosh,
served- yeah.
absolutely.
And she was working in Boston that week, but she made it, and she sent me an email, which I shared with Liz, thanking me for urging her to do it. She said it was very meaningful.
Oh, God. Nice.
I signed it in the evening one night
Yeah,
when the library was open, and
it was quiet.
it was very quiet. But there were people from the library said, "Can we sign it?" And
Yeah.
I said,
Of
"Why
course.
not?"
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
And
I
that point,
didn't.
it was-
And they weren't people I knew, so I couldn't chat with them. But they weren't.
But it was full.
It was full.
The space was taken up with signatures. It was
Front
amazing.
and back.
Yes,
We can,
yes, it
front
was really
and back.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so, anything else that comes to mind, we can always, if something comes to mind, we're very flexible, so speak up. But back to the Friends, and I think that's probably why Sandra's not here. I know she's also been ill, but I've heard she's doing better.
Thank God, yes. Pneumonia.
She had pneumonia, and I don't know, but I heard, and I don't know if she was at the Follies, if anyone here went to the Follies yesterday.
I was in New
didn't go.
Hampshire.
So I was busy doing a few things. But that's why there's no one here from the Friends, I think. Okay. Director's report. Moving right along. We promised it would be a short meeting, so.
Yes, I don't have too much on my list. So as always, I start with our statistics. It's end of the year, so I'm working on compiling our, let me get this up on the screen first. There it is. There it goes. Okay. So end of the year, working on end of the year statistics. And so I do report, not just the annual town report, but one also to the Executive Office of Elder Affairs. And I believe MCOA also sees those. So putting in all of the last entries for June. And I noticed my transportation number disappeared for June. So we had another solid month, over 1,100 event sign-ins. We had, if I remember correctly, it was about 140 rides provided. It was kind of a lower month. A total of 650 outreach interactions, and it was 100 under 60, 521 over the age of 60. And for our highest number of unduplicated sign-ins for people for the entire fiscal year, 329. So for June, we brought in a lot of new faces. Probably thanks to the topping off ceremony that brought in a lot of people, and Amy and Sue were running around with clipboards and writing down everyone's names to make sure
I was watching
count.
the two of them trying to get attendance, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what a job that is today.
Yeah, we didn't capture nearly everyone
No.
who was there, but we got at least 100 names. It's incredible how many names and faces our
Well, and
team
it
knows
was,
off the
it
top
was
of their head.
unfortunate that it really was, kind of a last minute thing. It wasn't
Yeah.
like something we could work on getting the word out on, really.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that was out of our control, so.
I'm not sure if we would have been able to handle much
Mm-hmm.
larger
No, that was a
Oh,
on
huge
that hot of a
turnout.
day. Yeah.
It was a
it was
huge turnout.
huge. I know.
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
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 So once I compile the annual report that goes to Elder Affairs, I'll send you a copy.
I was just gonna ask about that, because I remember I had asked you to, I asked Liz to get copies to all of us for the last annual report that she has done.
Yes.
And that came about because I'll talk about it later, but for another reason, but anyway, just so you know, so she will do that, so.
Yeah. So there's the annual town report that goes in your binders, and that runs on the calendar year. The annual
Fiscal year.
statistics goes on the fiscal year, so you'll have two reports.
So that'll be coming,
Yeah.
so.
But yeah, over 12,200 sign-ins for the entire fiscal year, which is really great.
And especially,
Really
people have learned recently, this came up at the breakfast, I think last Friday too. Ladies' breakfast, not last Friday, the Friday before, whenever it was. And people never realized that it's so hard to collect data because we have so many entrances to this building. That whenever we have something, even though you have one entrance focal point, usually off in the patio for people to come in, if you're checking off people that signed up to come to something, you'll look and you'll think somebody's not here, and then you learn after a while that you have to, once the event starts, then you have to stand up and take a look around and see
Oh, my.
if the people are there, because they come in other doors and they don't think to go and let you know they're here.
Yeah.
So we don't get accurate
No.
data.
Yeah, yeah.
It's especially tricky for the ongoing activities, like all of our fitness classes. So we're all upstairs on the second floor. We don't know who's coming in downstairs through the diner, stopping at the town clerk's office, coming down the set of stairs. Like we don't we don't see everyone.
Yeah.
So it's up to the instructors to remind people to sign in. And Sue collects all the sign-in sheets, but once we have the new building, there will be the touch screen where you sign in, you scan your card, like many of our surrounding communities.
That'll be great.
Groton has
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Most
in
newer
Westford.
facilities have that.
yeah,
I mean, we were aware of that, but we knew it was futile to have it here.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It was, there's too many entrances to this building.
Yes.
So, yeah, so, that's just a little aside, but
Liz.
it's amazing how you don't realize people don't know things, you know.
I'm question, if someone comes in the morning, like say to attend Flex and Stretch, but then they come back, they come in the afternoon. Is that two separate?
Yep.
It's counted as two, isn't it?
Yes.
But what if they, okay, someone walks in to speak to Sue, then she goes downstairs to Stretch and Flex. Is that two or is that one?
If she speaks to Sue,
It should be two?
or no, if she's speaking to Sue upstairs,
Yeah. In your office, you know.
if somebody went up and talked to outreach for something, that would count as an outreach number. But if somebody's talking to Sue, that doesn't really count as, I wouldn't count that as outreach unless she's referring them to an outreach. But that's where the unduplicated versus duplicated comes in. So if you come in, you go to Stretch and Flex and then a speaker in the afternoon, your duplicated count would be two. But
And we've done that.
unduplicated, where that middle box is, that's where I'm just counting
One.
once to see how many people we're reaching without
Yeah.
inflating the
I
numbers with our
was just
duplicated
curious.
counts.
Yeah, you could be here and go to 3 events, but you're only one person, so it's,
Yeah, that's,
but she keeps track of both.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Elder Affairs makes us keep track of both as well. They want to know both duplicated versus unduplicated. This is their language that we're using. I've never really liked that word.
Can I deviate for 1 second
Yeah.
too? If you mentioned Elder Affairs, could you mention publicly the fact that the name has been changed, number 1? But number 2, now they're in a new fiscal year, and so the submission that the governor made, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of May, to change the name is a dead thing right now, and it has to be resubmitted again.
Yeah.
So
So,
you're not going to see anybody change the name
No.
for a long time.
yeah. So it's something they've been working on for a while.
Right.
Elder Affairs has been working on a total rebranding. They settled on the Executive Office of Aging and Independence, because they thought that covered more of all of what they do. But then again, it has to go through the legislative process, and unfortunately, this year they didn't get it in quite on time, or it didn't get approved on time, so it's back to square one to get it pushed through.
Well, the legislature hasn't approved the budget.
I know.
It's still not approved, so, yeah, that's not, wasn't very hopeful. So, but anyway, I don't think people in general have a knowledge of that, and it's good to, I think, help educate people.
Yep.
Even though we don't have a lot of people to watch this show, but hey, even when talking the word, one of you might remember to mention it to somebody in the future.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
So speaking of budgets, it's the end of our fiscal year, so we're working very hard on getting in all of our bills and invoices, making sure that there are no stones left unturned and that everything gets paid and is on time. So if you see us running around like crazy upstairs, it's making sure every receipt is accounted for. And so the fiscal year FY24 can be closed because we've already started FY25. Senior Tax Work-Off Program is next on my list. The FY25 guidelines are now on the website. If you are a person who's been in this program before, you should have received an email from me with just a couple questions, check boxes to re-enroll for this new fiscal year. If you are a brand new person and you want to enroll in this program, you have to come see us at the office. We have a big, thick packet of information for you to fill out. I'd like to meet you first, do a quick little interview, think about different placements I could potentially arrange. The current numbers right now is we have 91 households in the program, which is 105 workers total. I have 2 new couples who stopped in who are relatively young. And so I have 4 applications out there, so that's 2 households, 4 more. We're just about at our max capacity at 100 households. So, just putting that out there. I'm not heavily advertising the program this year. It is on the front page of our broadcaster, but we're at the point where we have far more workers than placements. And
It's amazing.
it's quite a bit of work, and it's a lot of, I don't want people to feel frustrated that we don't have something for them to do. So I don't want to expand the program without
Right.
having actual placements for people. So it's quite challenging right now.
Our heart is in the right place.
Yes.
We just need more money
Try.
to be able to expand the program, correct? Is that part of it?
Oh, no.
No?
I need job placements.
Job placements,
I need somewhere for people to work.
Okay.
There's no shortage of people. The money is
Okay,
there.
well, we have to get the word out. They have to work though for the town, so it's the town departments that need to figure out how they could utilize people.
Right.
Oh,
it's
so
also-
there we go.
It's
There's a
always
job
been
for
that
us to
way.
help share information and help with
It's
that.
always been a challenge, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, we have someone pretty much in every department over police, fire, park and rec, highway department. We've got people everywhere, library,
The schools.
schools, yep, yep.
It's a good savings too. I mean, it's a, excuse the language or the thought, but a fairly reduced cost of labor, services.
Yeah. I mean, I did have someone stop in who just recently retired. We were talking about the program. I said it's $1,500 before taxes and OBRA. And it's paid at a rate of $15 an hour at minimum wage. He's like, well, I can get a part-time job for like $22 an hour. So for my situation, that makes more sense. So he went off and decided to go that route. So it really depends on your particular
Right.
situation and capabilities and what you're interested in doing.
And it's a pretty popular program, to
It's
say the
very
least.
popular. Yes. Yep. So that is Senior Tax Work-Off Program. The Legislators Barbecue, I just wanted to make a point that the date got changed. Representative Arciero had a conflict, so he had to change the date to August 14th. So that is separate from what's in the broadcaster, or different than what's in the broadcaster. And then last on my list is that we received 2 donations. $2,500 from the Morrison Charitable Foundation that was applied to TRED, and $850 from the Friends to support the men's and women's breakfast for another year.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Those breakfasts are quite popular.
400 people have been served through that.
Wow. I know Charlie and Barbara stopped into the knitting group today, and we're talking about the breakfast. So I think they enjoy doing it too, as much as people enjoy going.
And that's it for me.
Okay. Amy, come join us.
It's not too much that I have for you today. So we do have, it is farmer's market season. We are going to be getting the farmer's market coupons. They haven't come in yet, but Minuteman is sending those out, so we are hoping to receive them soon. Once we do receive them, we can do a post so that the community is aware, and we have our list of folks that have already contacted us about them. So we will make sure that everybody's aware as soon as we get them. The next thing on my list is TRED, tax relief for the elderly and disabled. The applications for the people that have been previously interested in the program or utilized the program, those will be going out this month, along with a letter that explains the process for applying. They have until September 30th to apply. All the application plus the supporting documentation needs to be submitted by September 30th, which is the deadline. If it's not received in full, then your application will not be considered for the program. So, any new people should contact our office and speak with Outreach, and we can get them an application.
And that's the tax relief for elderly and disabled.
Also known as TRED.
TRED.
Yes. So, the next thing, as you may have seen in our broadcaster, Mark Connects is another transportation option for Littleton. This is transportation outside of hours. It's received through a grant, if I'm not mistaken. Littleton is one of 6 communities that is able to utilize this. I tried calling to schedule for someone just to see what the process is like. It's very simple. You call the number, you enter the extension, which is 4, and then you have to provide your information and where you're going. So it's just like booking transportation through Crosstown or with us. And they will book your ride for you. You need to provide 24 hours notice. But this is available 7 days a week.
Oh, wow.
So, and
That's
they
nice.
can do it from 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily.
Nice.
But you do have to call between 8:30 and 4:30 Monday through Friday. So, same day is not an option. You have to call with 24
What's it
hour
called
notice.
again?
It's called Mart Connect.
Mart Connect. Not Crosstown Connect.
Not
Mart
Crosstown
Connect.
Connect. Not to be confused with our transportation. So the other thing that came when I called to try and schedule someone is that you do have to provide a payment option, which is where the hang-up came for me when I was trying to schedule someone. You need to use a debit card or a credit card. You cannot pay with cash. So I checked in with them about other things the COAs are doing, and we purchased $100 worth of tickets. So if you needed to use a ticket instead of, because you don't have the option of a debit card or a credit card, just come to our office. You can provide the cash payment to us. We will give you the tickets, and then you can call and book your ride, and you would just say that you're utilizing a ticket from the COA in order to pay for your transportation.
That's good too.
So,
Good problem solvers you are.
yes. Have to have all the options. So, any questions on that?
That's fascinating. Somebody just told me recently that when you travel now too, people don't accept cash as much. Is that you have to use a credit card, for example, you know, that they don't, or debit cards. Yeah. So I'm hearing that, so. Just changes in the way things are done. So,
It's easier to track for sure.
that's for sure. That is true.
All right, and that covers it for
Any
me.
questions for Amy? Or for Liz, for that matter? Nope.
Thank you.
And you know, my mind, all this stuff comes into my mind here because as we were talking about TREAD, and I was remembering the Rotary Club and the circus, or it wasn't called circus. Carnival, thank you. And I heard it was pretty good, but the weather was not the most
was
cooperative, wasn't it, for you poor
I
people?
felt
The
sorry
weather was
for-
horrible.
It was just, and I wanted to extend my condolences. I really, because people were put a lot of work into that to try to raise some money, and, yeah.
And talking to the people who own the carnival, they're used to this type of thing.
Oh.
So for them, it wasn't a big deal, but they thought we did so well, even with the weather that we had, that they want to come back.
That's good.
So
That's wonderful.
they want to come back, and they have ideas for us to improve it, and so they also said the first year you go to a town, it's always like this anyway. Then we hit the weather, but Sunday, if you could stand the heat,
Yeah.
Sunday was okay. So
Oh, that's such good news. Thank you. I was feeling so badly that weekend because I kept thinking, and you saw, you could see it all over there and everything, and I kept thinking, oh, that's so sad in a way because Littleton
Was it
really
the
would come
same-
out in droves usually.
Was it the same one that was in Acton the week before?
it's the same company,
That's what I meant.
same.
Big cow was there.
The same moo cow.
And cow.
Same cow.
Oh, was it? I didn't go by there. I
No,
don't-
it was down around the corner, heading over towards Cross Point.
Yeah, the point.
Oh, the cow
point.
was.
Yeah, down at that entrance.
But I
Same,
know, I
the
was
same
at-
company has two of them that go in at the same time, so that's,
Oh, really?
that's how big
Oh.
that company is. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that cow. You used to see it over on Route 2.
Route 2.
Yes, on
Yep.
Route 2, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I deviated, but that popped into my head again, and I'm thinking, because TREAD, and you had said so that they wanted to, Rotary Club wanted to contribute to TREAD.
And we
so-
meet on Wednesday night, and that's when I'll probably find out what the success rate was. I don't have any figures right now.
Well, that's fine. Just made me think about it. and it popped
But you
in.
mentioned that cow. That's the original cow from Hilltop.
Hilltop Steakhouse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, on Route 1, was it?
Thought so.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. That was a great place.
Oh, it was. How sad that that's
Yeah,
gone.
wasn't it?
Okay,
But it was from
sorry,
there.
I took us off subject again.
Route 1 in Saugus,
All this
yes.
stuff comes up.
Yep.
All right, any other questions now for either Liz or Amy? If not, I can entertain a motion to approve.
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve both the directors and outreach coordinators reports as the date.
Okay, that's the first. Who's second?
Second.
Sue is going to second. Thank you. Any further discussion? Last chance. Okay, we'll take a vote. Jean, going to go around this way.
Yes.
Liz, a yes. Joan?
Yes.
Mary Ann,
Marianne,
yes.
Marge is yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, and Mary Ann?
Yes.
Yes, and Joe
Yes.
is yes, and unanimous vote. Thank you.
Yes.
And I don't think we approved the minutes. We talked
We
about
have-
the
we
minutes.
Yeah, we know we didn't. I thought that too was, yeah, thank you for mentioning it, because I'm thinking, I always have 2 X's at this point. This is the second X, and I missed it.
It's
So-
looking a little empty
It
there,
is a
yes,
little empty, and I,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So, we must backtrack. You
Back to the
forgive me.
minutes.
Back to the minutes. So, I remember I explained what I was doing about the minutes for today, so I'm also concentrating on trying to take some notes, though I know I can watch the tape and put the minutes together. Sure. Anyway, so are there any corrections to the minutes of June 10th? So, thoughts about that? Anything that needs to, if not, we can make a motion.
I move with it, we accept the minutes as read.
Okay, that's a Marilyn
Second.
and Joe. Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. Jean?
Yes.
Thank you. John?
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
Marge is a yes?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Mary's a yes?
Yes.
And Marilyn's a yes? And
Yes.
Joe's a yes, so we have 2, I'm gonna really confuse myself. 2 times unanimous votes. Thank you. And thank you for pointing that out, Joe. Okay. So now we are right down to an update on the senior center project, and we pretty much have a little bit of knowledge about where we're at, but not, maybe something's happened since last Thursday we don't know about.
Well, it's moving along fast. So I can give you a look ahead what's coming up next. This week they're finishing up the metal roofing, the metal deck, I think it's called metal decking on the roof. And starting July 14th and then into the following week of July 21st, they are pouring concrete for the second floor.
Ooh.
And setting up the exterior walls.
Wow.
Those are the major things. There's a lot of temporary lighting, finishes, other things that are going on, perimeters, plumbing sleeves, mechanical rebar, things like that. But the most noticeable thing that you'll see
Wow.
is the floor and the walls.
Oh my gosh.
This week, we have hopefully finalized the furniture budget, working on that. So that would be all the offices, desk chairs, the lobbies, upstairs, downstairs, tables and chairs for the different program rooms. I believe our interior architect was going to have that finalized today, to be presented this week at some point. So hopefully it's not too much of a discrepancy of where we want to be
Yeah.
within the budget. We're still working on our information and technology cable budget that came in almost double what we thought.
Whoa.
But there was a lot of room to trim there. They, put in their quote, the best of everything, and really high level equipment that you could have a whole production studio run off of, beyond what our scope of work is. So working on that as well. That's been in the works for quite a while, but yeah, that's where we're at.
Wow. It's so exciting to see it so far to continue along and not hit a roadblock. No. Just
No
keep
bumps.
going.
No bumps
No.
in the road.
No. All right. Thank you, Liz. It is exciting. Okay. On to new business. Board member update. Sue,
Yes.
she raised her hand.
Present. Somewhere here, I have my notes, somewhere. I thought I had something from Minuteman Services, but I couldn't tell you what it is, and I don't have my notes, so I don't remember. But from Affordable Housing Trust, they, at our June meeting, June 25th meeting, we had a joint meeting with CPC in order to agree to, we had an agreement on, the fancy title is a grant agreement. So all it amounts to is if Affordable Housing Trust puts in a request to CPC for funds, that in that request, a project will be outlined. So you can't just put in a request for $90,000. You'd say $90,000 for LRAP or whatever it is. So it really isn't, it sounded a little scary at first that it was going to be something very different, but it isn't really. At that same meeting, we had our own meeting, that same date, working on two projects. The Tehadawin Road project, which is for the construction of 2 units of affordable housing there. One a 3-bedroom unit and one a 2-bedroom unit. And an RFP went out, and Habitat for Humanity was the only one that responded to that RFP. And we went over that response, and the trust had some questions about it, and so we've got to get those answered, and there'll be some further negotiations to it. Also, they've on the Durkee property, that still hangs there. But we approved money for surveying it because we have to have a surveying done in order, before they can even discuss perhaps putting in any other septic system, and also with conservation area setbacks and everything. So that got done, and that survey was completed sometime since that meeting, like July 2nd or something. That was done. Then we also had a big discussion, and if you watch the Affordable Housing Trust meetings, you can obviously fill in the details, but we had a big discussion about the King Street special permit decision for 550 King Street, the IBM complex. The planning board met with Lapoli and their representatives to finalize the decision for the special permit. And as it was unclear, it's clear now what kind of affordable housing is going to be included in that complex. Planning board webpage has complete information about it, but the one area that was of concern was there's supposed to be 40 units of deeply affordable, so from 30 to 60% AMI, so deeply affordable units as part of the project. And it was, in discussions, it seemed to have been just left hanging there without it being really included. Lapoli kept saying, well, it could be on-site or off-site, but didn't have any timeline for it. And the planning board got them to agree that those 40 deeply affordable units will be completed in phase 3.
Whoa.
Which is a time frame of 2027 to 2029.
Wow, I was gonna say, that's a few years away.
It is. The whole project's
It's
at
true.
least 10 years away, so at least this is, it isn't like waiting 10 years, because that was the thing I kept saying when we would discuss it at Affordable Housing Trust. I would say, the way I read it is, it looks like the whole thing could wait 10 years
Right.
before we got those 40 units. That was, but they did get, that's in writing. That whole decision is in writing, and it says it will be completed before, or completed by the end of Phase 3.
It's a little bit of progress, I guess.
And so, well, yeah, that's a little better. Also, the trustees are planning on having sometime in August, but August is creeping up on us, but anyway, is planning to have sometime in August another roundtable like we had before, with representatives from the Poli Company and a financial advisor type person to discuss, I think we've got too big of an agenda, but anyway, to discuss what the existing planning and timetable is for Lapoli, especially the affordable units. They are all the affordable units, up to 100% AMI. And so that, keep watching wherever for announcements about that. And then also, in conjunction with Maren Toohill, Mark Rombacher, and Kimberly Albertelli may have been involved too, I'm not positive, wrote a Community One-Stop Growth Grant that is trying to get a chunk of money to help with critical repairs so that it could help aging in place for homeowners. But the results of that grant will not be known until October or November. So, but that's at least being thought about and is in the works.
Right, it's interesting, because all of a sudden, overnight, it seems now, Napoli has all of the big, heavy-duty equipment for the water, the sewer system and everything that's going in from that company,
Right.
now on their property. You know, it's lining the street. going to-
Right.
Yeah.
The planning board, if you go on the planning board's website, they really do have a lot of information.
Brian Sound.
And you have to weed through pages and pages and pages of stuff that, who's gonna do that. I'll make my little pitch. This is just me, not from Affordable Housing Trust and not from COA, it's just me. The planning board, to me, is one of the, other than the select board, probably the most powerful board in this town. And they won't contribute to the town newsletter. And that makes me angry. But that's me. I said my piece.
Okay.
Sorry I used this platform.
No, that's fine. We all have, in fact, that whole town newsletter, is it?
I loved the town newsletter. I thought it was excellent. Both the issues that came out, I thought it was a lot of information. And I can't say anything.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because I think I conveyed to Liz earlier that there was a discussion in one of the groups I was in about, people didn't even, it was a knitting group, as a matter of fact. They had no knowledge of the town
Yes,
newsletter.
that's
And so, you know, I said to Liz, can we get an article in the broadcaster that explains what it is and everything? I might add, I have immense problems navigating in the new town website for Littleton and finding my way around it and getting things that I need to get and everything. So
not easy.
it's not easy. We might need to educate people about how to do that too. We're trying to want them to read the newsletter on the town website.
Well, one thing that excuse me.
Go ahead.
One thing I did like about the town newsletter, that most of the departments or committees that put up articles did put live links in that newsletter, so you can go right to the page that has the information. So that's helpful. Or if it is, I mean, yeah, you go to the planning board stuff and it can be long to read through it, but sometimes you can get the right page to outline it.
No, well, it's just like everything else that's new. And a lot of, people need to be educated and need to have the knowledge, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree, but if you sign up to get into your email.
I thought I signed up for the newsletter. I thought I did, but I don't think I did now.
If you sign up to just get all the announcements from the town, your email inbox gives you, the link to the agenda for
Right.
select board meeting, the link to the agenda for the planning board meeting, and then when the newsletter comes out, there's the newsletter. So that's easy, and it is, people complain that they don't know what's going on, and I think the newsletter is a really big step toward
is.
it.
But that's how the discussion evolved in that, our knitting group,
Exactly.
and I said, do you know about that?
Right.
And well, they knew nothing about it. So, and that's when I said, maybe if we put something in the broadcaster, that would be a help, some people would learn more about it, so. Anyway, and I know I have difficulty, as I said.
Oh, I agree with you that the town
Sometimes-
website is not the easiest thing to.
It was fine before they changed it.
But if you go to the town website, the newsletter's on the front page. You don't have to go any further than littletonma.org, and there's the link to the newsletter is
Yeah.
right there. It says, town newsletter, click, there it is, a digital version.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's good, you're good. It's very good. It's good information, it really is. And it's very true.
And I know that George Sanders, at a select board meeting, made an appeal to the select board to print out some copies of
Oh,
it.
yes, I heard, I was there then, that
Right,
night. Yes.
right. To print out some copies of it that could be available at EHS or the library or somewhere, so that it isn't just a digital, because everybody doesn't have it.
Right.
There's some in Amy's office.
Oh.
On the big table, if you need a paper
I'll
copy.
just jump in. Yeah, Nancy has them printed out. That came from the
Good.
last department head meeting too, so.
Well, that's
There
good,
is some that are
good.
printed out in a couple different areas, so one
Yeah,
place
I
is
think-
my
There we
office.
go.
That's important.
See, it is important, until and it's all new, everybody's
Right.
learning, so.
It's only been 2 editions.
Yeah, yeah. Great. Anything else?
No,
No.
I've talked on my soapbox
She's
long
busy.
enough.
She's a busy lady. Anyone
off my
else?
soapbox.
Any board member updates? Anything happening? No? Okay. Moving on, election of officers. We just put elections in there, but that's what that means. Election of officers is that time of year where the chair, vice chair, and the secretary's positions need to be relooked at and voted on. So, and as our rules and regs say, it's done we don't go into, we used to have this big committee and everything, but it was all changed in the rules and regs. You all know the rules and regs and checked it out, so we can proceed, I think, except for Mary.
That's all right.
So,
I'm learning.
you learn, yes, you will, but we're not hard to learn about, easy, we're pretty easy. We're pretty simple. Yeah. So, we can kick it off with the chair's position, and let's just get this part of our job today done, so that we can then talk about a couple of things about the manual, so.
I nominate Marge for chairman.
I'll second that.
Yes.
Oh,
All in favor,
Marge
say
Payne will
yes.
make it official.
oh, thank you.
In case there's some other Marge hiding under the table.
Nope.
Well, thank you very much. I would, I think I could handle another year, so, and I would love to be involved. As I said, I reapplied to stay on the board this year because my term was up. But I really wanted to see the senior center completed. And see that
Absolutely.
finished, just so, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Is there any discussion? Can we take a vote? All right. Well, someone made the motion, I
I
believe.
made the motion and
And it was seconded
And it
by
was
Marilyn. So we're going to start with Jean again. So,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Unquestionably, yes.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, and thank
Yes.
you. Well, thank you all. Thank you very much. I'm honored. I really am. And if at any time you feel I should step down, please let me know that. So don't ever hesitate. So, So, well, no, I'm, what can I say? But I enjoy it, so. Okay, vice chair. Do we have someone to be,
I know.
Anita could not be here today, but I know she is interested.
Right. I nominate Anita Harding for vice chair.
I second.
All right. Any other nominations? No? Any further discussion? No? This is gonna be easy.
No.
This up to this one.
We are such an amiable group.
I know, Jean.
Yes.
All right, John.
Yes.
Mary Ann.
Oh, yes.
And Marge is a yes?
Yes.
Yes, and Mary and Marilyn and Joe.
Yes.
Anita, if you're listening at all, I don't think she is today, but you're on for another year. You got it. Thank you all. So, all right. Now, this one might be a little bit more difficult, I'm guessing. We need a secretary. Lorelei did an amazing job.
Oh, she
And
did.
I am going to ask her when I go to her house to pick up her manual, which, by the way, because I know that other people are in this category too, she said, Marge, I never kept it up to date. And I said, that's okay. I just want the manual back and we'll update it, so don't worry about that.
Right.
But I'm going to ask her how she did the minutes. Because I don't know whether there's an app, I think I mentioned this to, I think Amy was there when we were talking about it, and I said she must have some kind of a computer app or something that helped her. Because the detail in the minutes was so, involved, really. It doesn't have to be this detailed, so.
But even look at the director's report. I mean, that had to be pulled somehow.
Right.
to have
I do
it.
not have the skills to do that. If I were doing the minutes, you would not see that, because I don't know how to do that.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
No. So I will talk to her, though, and find out if there is any. No, you can come join us. You don't have to run.
He says, I'm out of here.
Anyway, so I don't know how she did it, but she did a great job. I will say that. And don't feel that you have to do it the same format. As I said, it does not have to be in this detail. I
know.
do not believe, right, Liz? You've said that too, I think.
This is so professional, it's.
I know, yes. So don't feel that it has to be that way, but we do need somebody to be responsible for taking the minutes. And they have to be, dealt with every month, and then they have to get forwarded and be put online, and Liz takes care of getting that done. Once the minutes are approved by the board, they get posted online. So, and that's the law. So, if I'm not mistaken, we have to follow. So, do we have anyone that's willing to do that job? Nobody. What are we going to do without a secretary? We have to have a secretary, folks.
No.
I'll take it.
Do you want to give up something else?
Yes, next meeting I'll talk about that.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
That's a
That
deal.
sounds like a deal. If you're willing to
I'll
do
give
that.
up
You can
something else.
give up, please do, because you really
Yes,
do a
no,
lot.
I have, right,
All right.
Sure.
We have,
That's
they're
fair.
not going to look like Lorelei's.
they don't need to.
But see, that was why I didn't want to do it, because I felt it had to always be like this.
No, no.
And that's why I said.
You
that's
can
it.
just summarize the discussion. You don't have to say, Joe said this
But
and
I
this
meant
and
to
that.
have
You
it-
don't have to do
No,
that.
but to have it look like this.
Oh, well, they have to be, yeah. Right, but anyway.
Yeah, well, that,
I mean,
yeah,
I do
that
us
part you
too.
can do.
Oh, yeah.
I can-
Yeah,
I
it
can
scared
do
us
that.
also.
I
Sure.
could actually get those.
You could do that too? See,
Yeah.
she's so smart.
Screen-
I'm not a
screen-
computer savvy
just a
person.
screenshot, isn't it?
Yeah, there you
Just
go.
a screenshot off of the
The recording.
recording, because it says LCTV on the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so it does. Oh, you're so smart.
Screenshot, okay.
Okay. All right, then. Are we ready to take a vote? Thank you, Sue.
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Jean?
Yes.
Yes.
John? Mary Ann?
Heartily.
Heartily. Marge Heartily. Thank you, Heartily.
From
Mary.
my heart, yes. In the bottom of
Marilyn
my
and
heart.
Joe.
Yes.
And Sue?
You didn't ask me. No.
I'm coming. I was
From the bottom of our heart, for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Just leave me out.
I know, I know. So, thank you ever so much.
Yes.
And I mean, if you ever get, yourself, you can always refer back to the tape if you missed a
Oh,
little
yes.
tidbit
Oh,
of
yes.
information, but
Well,
it does not have to be detailed.
I took on, for Affordable Housing Trust, writing the newsletter article. It's a collaborative thing. I write it and send it out to them, and they give me comments back, some of them. And, yeah, you watch the tape when you can't remember
Yeah.
or didn't take
The
notes.
notes, yeah.
Yeah.
So the tapes are great in helping to bail you out. So.
Especially when you don't remember who made a motion, which you need for this, but you don't for that.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was concerned about that, but thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we put a cross, an X right there next to elections. I think we've accomplished that successfully. Thank you all. Now, goals for 2024. We have, as we mentioned earlier, Liz is going to get a copy of her last annual report and the more report that she makes, I guess, according to the calendar year, right? Okay, and that'll be coming. Now, also, you have in your handouts today a copy of the rules and regs, and I just wanted to make sure that you are okay, because the rules and regs as they were prior to our last meeting, the mission and vision were not even in the rules and regs, believe it or not. So, I took the liberty of putting them under Article 2, Purpose of the Council. It made sense to me that that would be a good place for them to
Yes,
be,
yes.
unless somebody thinks that they should be elsewhere. And did I correctly record them? I think I did. What we voted on.
Yes.
I love those. I think we need to share these. I'm so excited. I want to
Yes.
share them with the world because I think they're great.
Yes.
Missions and the mission and the vision and the mission.
It hits the nail on.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Marge, I have a question.
Yes.
Because they weren't in this before,
Uh-huh.
it says updated
I know,
November.
because that's why I haven't finalized it, because I wanted to talk to you all to make
Okay.
sure that you were okay with it.
Yeah.
I wasn't wanted to make an assumption. I also want to know, I think it would be wise for the board to review these this month for our next meeting, to see if other changes need to be made. This is the time of year to do that. And if we have other changes that need to be made in our rules and regs, we will do that, and then I'll put the date of update after that. But I just think as long as we're looking at them, we need to look at the whole thing,
Sure.
if that's okay with all of you.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, so you have a job to do. At least as far as the rules and regs go. The other thing is that Liz has this wonderful handout. I forget the title of it, though. Do you remember? No.
The one from MCOA.
Yeah, it's like 38 pages or something
Yeah.
like that long. It's a great
Best
handout.
practices.
Something about best practices. And it was from MCOA.
Mm-hmm.
She got a copy of this, and she asked me if it was something we should put in the manual, and we agreed that we probably should. But it's going to be quite a job we need to make, she'll make the copies as they're in color,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's 2 sides. So it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
And that would be great in the back of your manuals. My book is falling apart here.
Yeah,
But in the
they
back
do.
where it says Mass Executive Office of Elder Affairs, which we'll have to change that anyway, but sooner or later. But that's where the information is, a guide for board members, and that probably would be replaced. This is from 2015.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Charlie
I think-
Baker.
So that, I wanted to let you know that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And we will, you'll look at it. It's a lot of information.
Yeah, I think it's like a new spin on that, and it's
On the guide.
It's not from Elder Affairs. It's written from long-term COA
Right.
directors from MCOA. People who have been in it, know it, retired board members, things like that. So it's a really good practical guide.
It is, really is. So, and then we can sit down and look at, because in here it says, what are your individual responsibilities? And these things came, if you notice in your manual, most of them came from somebody by the name of Emmett Schmarzo. Is that how you pronounce it?
Schmarzo.
Schmarzo. He was wonderful. gentleman that worked in the Department of Elder Affairs, and he retired. He hasn't passed away, has he?
No.
No, but he's retired. But even in this new packet, he's mentioned many
He's
times.
quoted, yeah.
And he's quoted many times. He really was wonderful. So, in fact, so we might take this out, because this, what are your individual responsibilities? It might be duplication. It might be better to keep the new thing that's coming.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that, because the manuals, maybe we're in a state of transition, and we should be, of maybe updating and taking a look at things. So next month, we should be able to have those ready for you
Yep.
next month. And maybe I can get them out beforehand so you can look at them before the meeting, because it's a lot of information. I didn't bring my copy with me, or I would have, didn't think. But there's all kinds of interesting things back here that, most of them came from Emmett. He used to come around and he would do meetings like once a year in different facilities, and you could go. And you could always hear him, and he was always good to listen to. So, I might suggest we take out design considerations for senior centers. That's in here, too. But we don't need that anymore. So, anyway. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right, so that's our plan. And I had the hardest time getting the list of board members and staff members in, so that my computer, I don't know, Liz, I went out, I retyped everything, and I still couldn't get it to work. But anyway, Liz finally helped me with that. Now there is up to place for the secretary, and I will fill that in, thank you, Susan. And we will get that out to you. I think you all would prefer that you get hard copies to be able to put in your manuals here. Is that the way you want it? Yeah, I think so. So we'll get it out to you the next board meeting, okay?
Sounds good.
So that's the plan. And we'll just take a look at your manuals, really, and be objective. See which you think will be helpful and good information. Okay?
Yep.
All right. And the last thing is, do you want to meet in August? So, unless you have other goals. I think that's enough for us to be dealing with, personally. Don't you, right now? You got to go over the rules and regs, plus the whole manual. I think that's enough for looking at goals.
The 1 month.
Yeah, for a couple months, probably.
Are you really?
Yeah. So, what about August? Do you want to still meet briefly? And this wasn't so brief, it's already 4 o'clock. But I'm trying to get us out of here.
An hour.
So, what do you think? Do you, no, you
are.
don't? No, Liz wants a break. Liz needs a break.
I'll take a break.
I think we can have a break.
We got enough to do.
I think so, too.
Okay.
I'm fine with a break.
So the next meeting is September and not August, correct?
Yes, unless something urgent comes up, I can always call a meeting.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, take the break. I know Liz is on, they're on overload up in the office. They are. She's just on overload.
You haven't hired a replacement yet, have you?
No. It's
Yes.
still,
You need a break.
That would be September 9th.
It would be September 9th?
committee,
Okay, so the next meeting will be September 9th.
whatever it's called now.
Is that a holiday weekend?
No, the weekend before is the holiday weekend.
Kind of late.
Great.
But I checked.
Okay. All right, is there any other business that we need to discuss or talk about?
I have a question.
Yes.
We have affairs scheduled for the month, and I haven't seen anything about needing volunteers to help.
Oh,
There's a,
you haven't been notified that anybody needs help?
Oops, we all looked at poor Marilyn down there. There is a,
there's a
Meal.
luncheon
A lunch and learn, though.
coming
but-
up.
There was a lunch and learn, and,
Yeah. They're relatively small,
yeah, the lunch and learns are,
Bonnie and Clyde.
they,
usually generally
Yeah.
under 50.
But we haven't done those.
At
we
those
have-
meetings,
they haven't.
I noticed, we've gone to the one on the theft of the photos and all of that, and you walk in and it's all set up.
Yeah.
Is that George?
Who's doing that?
Tables and chairs for George.
George
George
does
George
that.
is doing that, because we when it's over,
We disassemble
we
it.
disassemble. But
That's it,
I'm
George, right?
saying,
Does
if I come
George-
early.
George would
Do you
appreciate
need
the
help
help.
for assembling? I just don't know what's going on, I
Yeah,
guess.
with that. That you
I
want
don't
to
know
be
either,
able-
it's up to, really,
I need to check on that.
if we could be of help to George.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
I
what
don't
John
want anyone
is.
getting hurt trying to carry a table.
Well, that's what I worry about too, with the other tables and
We
things.
won't get
Somebody-
hurt, I promise.
Yes,
Well, that's what someone else said to me one time, and then they
Right.
went over the top of the table.
oh,
Oh.
Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
That's not a good story.
Yeah,
Um,
cheers the one thing,
Yeah,
and that's enough.
let me think about that, and
yeah,
I'll check the numbers signed up for Lunch and Learn, World War II letters, Bonnie
Yep.
and Clyde, and then,
But they don't all have food, they're just.
No,
Yeah,
and one has
but-
food, I think.
only one.
Yeah.
Bonnie and
Right,
Clyde.
and before, there was never a request for help on the lunch and learns, but if
Yeah.
there is,
they're generally small.
let me know.
It's usually a big event that
Mm.
the help, cry for help goes out, but
I'm sure if Liz needs help, she's gonna holler.
I know at the,
she'll let Amy know, and Amy will get hold of Sue.
yeah,
She's got to delegate.
Yes, I know. No, Amy will see my face, and then she'll,
We need help.
I know I spoke with the janitor, I don't know his name, George,
yeah.
out at the beam
Barbecue.
lifting, and I said, gee, I noticed when we walked in, you had a whole rack empty of chairs. I said, did you pull it out? What'd you do? He said, I'm on vacation.
That was all the laborers.
Is that what happened?
Yep.
Well, that event was not an Elder and Human Services
That was
event.
Commodore's event.
Commodore Builders they used our chairs and everything, but
Yes.
they ran that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And provided the food, hired the caterer, paid for the caterer, everything.
George was good about grabbing the tent. He did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He grabbed the tent.
But George is overworked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question about that.
How many
So anything we can
buildings?
have-
have another
How many
building?
buildings does he-
Fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything we can do to help him, with
Truly.
safety considerations, it
Yes.
would be great. So.
I'm kind of upset with Commodores. They never have all of that for the library. Your food was fantastic.
Really?
Our little ceremony had cake.
Oh, wow. You had the same builders.
Same builders! When you told me they paid for that, I went, wow, that was awesome for
Oops.
this building, because ours, we didn't have food like that.
Wow.
We had a ceremony, the beam went up, and there was like maybe cake and drinks. So you guys, they treated us well for that.
We're in trouble.
The library's going to be upset with it. It isn't our fault. We
Oh,
didn't do
no,
anything.
I enjoyed it completely.
Yes, we're glad that you joined us, for sure, for sure.
Wow.
But
Okay.
okay, that's,
Okay.
Do we have any other items of business that we need to address? And we are taking August off. If there is an urgent need,
yes, by
we
all
will, I can
means.
call a meeting, we'll do that.
Turn off the signal.
Yep.
Yep.
So, okay, then I can entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn at 4:10.
4:10.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting at 4:10.
I second the motion.
You somebody did, is it Mary?
Mary did, we
Yep,
both did,
thank you.
yay.
Okay,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Mary Ann.
Yes,
Marge, yes.
yes.
Sue, yes. Mary, yes.
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 Marilyn, and yes, Joe, and thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of the summer.